Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of season 3 of Suoni TV. Um, I'm here with Frederic Blondy and Joe Sarbera to discuss
Hello.
the piece
Mhm.
Quarantine Playground. So, why don't you tell us, tell us how the piece came together?
Sure. Um, so the piece is by Jermaine Liu and I. Um, in the summer of 2020, Jermaine got in touch. She had been commissioned by the folks at Le Grill in Rimouski um, to make a piece that would be performed in the Zoom universe. And I had a similar commission from my friend Mark Laver, who teaches at Grinnell College in Iowa. And we were talking about our ideas, and basically there was so much overlap that it didn't make any sense to write two different pieces. And we just decided it would be a lot more fun to collaborate, and both commissioning people agreed. And so we just set to work making this thing, um, which was a joy. Jermaine and I work really well together. We've been friends for a long time, and it's maybe more. She brings out the more playful side in me, so it's maybe more playful than I would have done on my own. And yeah, we had a great time making this thing.
And so, how did you get involved, Fred?
Well, the fact is, we started working. I mean, working on the collaboration with the grill, um, as we both are um, dealing with big orchestra with many people. I think I don't really know exactly how many people are involved in the grill. I think it's around 20. And here in France, with Ensem, we are 35 people when the orchestra is complete. And Eric, a few years ago, started to have this idea of making to try to figure out a way to make collaboration between the two orchestra. And of course, to travel with such projects, especially over the Atlantic, is not easy. I think for sure the Grill was able to come a few times to Europe and to play in France. We welcomed uh, the band in Paris when I was still organizing the concert series in the St. Mary's Church. And yes, so Eric started to think about the different way to collaborate. And one idea came up was to try to play the same pieces. Like sometimes because when we create new pieces, they are usually not played a lot. And we were thinking about the possibilities to play the same piece in France with on same and in and in Quebec with or Canada with Le Grill. And the fact is the instrumentarium and the effective are quite different. So it's not so easy to play the already
Hmm.
existing pieces. And so we were thinking that maybe the best way is to ask at the same composer to create two pieces, and one for Grill and one for Onsem. And I must say, this one piece made by Joe and German is the first one to be exactly the same score performed by the two orchestra. And that's quite interesting because not so many scores are offering these possibilities to be interpreted by two so different ensembles. And the way the music is written, all the possibility of playing of are are really opening this possibility, and it's a lot of that's really great and a lot of fun to do.
Hmm. So, I guess then COVID also opened up with the digital space this opportunities for the two orchestras to play together.
Yes, absolutely. And I must say, for us, I don't know for the grill if it had already had experiences of playing, performing through internet like this. from our side was the first experience, and normally I think it's a quite complex situation because you have to manage with some delay and the yeah, and as a musician it's really nice to be when you interact in the same room. It's it's very important. And but German and Joe were really taking good care in advance. They really have a nice foot about the piece being resulting about all this problem of delays. And yes, so we could make it mixing both orchestras and through internet. So I don't know how that works. I mean, at the end, it's funny because probably the delay, it's also to imagine that all the music and the videos are going through the Atlantic Ocean, and that we were able to play together. That's really something surprising, and yeah, quite excited. But I must say, yes, it was really. The piece proposed by Joe and Germain make this possible because they anticipate all these problems and they try to make it part of the piece. So it's quite, yeah, it could work quite well thanks to that.
That
Yeah,
was
I'd
the
be.
point. Actually,
Uh,
so much of what we were doing, what we were reacting to, was how frustrating it was to try and play online. Right,
mm,
the latency and stuff um, was so frustrating to both of us, and so we were trying to figure out how to make it a thing that would be like it would bring fun and joy and like excitement instead of just frustration and stuff. So that was a big part of what we were thinking about when we were designing the thing. How to turn all
mm-hmm.
these frustrating elements of playing, especially in Zoom, which is really bad for doing this,
Yeah.
um, how to turn all those frustrating elements into the piece and just make them fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Zoom did actually improve over the pandemic the kinds of controls you can have over your audio, which allowed for. I know at the beginning they had built in a lot of noise suppression and stuff that would create this cutting in and out for musicians. Did you play with some of those algorithms and that kind of AI audio cleanliness?
Yeah, by the time we started, it was in a state where there were certain things you could do, like there was, there was like an original audio button where you could just say like, don't clean this up, just take it as as it will be. But still, it makes decisions about who's the talker, right? It's about one person at a time, so it still makes decisions about who's the most important voice happening at the time or whatever. And that hasn't changed, I don't think. But yeah, they have adapted, and I think at a point we just, rather than try and keep up with the adaptations, we just thought, well, we'll just let this universe do what it does and play the piece in this space and let it sort of mess it up or not mess it up as it will, and that'll be fun.
Hmm.
Rather than try and keep track of it, just let it be and not worry too much. But yeah, so um, we were kind of trying to adapt specifically to the restrictions and frustrations of the moment, and then as they developed, we just sort of let them go.
Hmm. And how did you find, like, were you surprised by anything that happened when you were realizing the piece? Like, did you have some ideas going in as a composer, or for you, Fred, as a performer, about what might happen that then you were shocked by what actually happened?
You go first, Frederic.
Yeah, I must say, I was surprised it worked technically. Also, thanks to Mark, who was in charge of all this recording and who set up the session and was doing a really great job. But mainly I think it was really nice. For me, the most surprising thing, because I think um, I saw the many possibilities offered by the score when I received it. But of course, the technology was adding a big part of aleatory. And also, what is very interesting is the fact that in the same time we are all together in the same screen, but everybody is at his own place at home, and that's a very special situation also to be performing. Sometimes you maybe do things at home in front of your computer that you won't be doing in a concert hall. And for me, it was really nice to see all the musicians getting at more we were rehearsing and performing, getting more like more free and getting because of course the piece is musical is is a musical, but is also visual and also this is an aspect we didn't work so much with the orchestra until now, and it was really nice to see that at the beginning the musicians maybe were a little shy, and more and more going it became more and more free and crazy at and in this aspect musicians were playing more and acting more, and
Mm,
that was really a nice surprise to me. Also because I was maybe thinking that some musicians won't be so easy, and it was a really nice surprise to see that they all be getting more fun doing it and getting more free.
That's great to hear. Um, as it's in terms of like the from the composer's perspective, I think um, there are a few things that I did. I did specifically a couple of pieces I composed, like actually written out, notes on manuscript paper kind of things that I knew wouldn't work, but I think I didn't understand the degree to which they wouldn't work. So
mm,
um, I was set to accept what happened with them, but I'm actually, part of me is really looking forward to the possibility of playing this in a room with everybody in the same room, but still maybe using Zoom as a way to connect. So
mm.
uh, I don't know how that might work, but Jermaine and I have been talking about this possibility because there's some parts of what we composed that I think would come across in different ways that way. So
Mm.
still maybe mediated by Zoom somehow so that the glitching can happen and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's the next step. But yeah, there are a few things that don't work in worse ways than I thought. But that's what we that's what we were in for. So it's great. Yeah.
Mhm. And as Fred mentioned, obviously, when we present something online, especially musical performance, uh, it really significantly changes the relationship of the performers and the music to the visual. You know, there's conventions of dress and attire in conventional orchestra, and even in more DIY or underground or experimental settings, there's still often conventions of you don't necessarily wear a costume. Whereas I've seen more people exploring that on the screen. So I'm curious how much thought went into that ahead of time, and how much of that developed organically through the rehearsal process.
That was pretty thoroughly planned out. So there are different colors of shirts that show people on screen which path through the score you're taking.
Mm,
And then there's a part where people change in the middle to sort of like send them off into another group, and they, two paths kind of converge, and that's signified by them all wearing the same color, kind of, or that kind of thing. So we thought a lot about that. Hats are another signal that say, my job at this point is doing this, and you will recognize me as doing that, and you can sort of see the other hat wearing people are doing the same job as you. So we were trying to find ways to visually connect people, so that they would recognize, just like when you're playing in a room together. Sometimes you need to recognize, oh hey, we have to hook up here, and so um, that was just another way of allowing that kind of recognition to happen on the screen, I guess. So yeah, there's a lot of that happening, and then other visual things you are used to cue people picking up certain things or putting down certain things like that. I don't know how much to give away, or if it matters, but yeah. Yeah.
I think there is also one aspect with very specific to the the fact we use technology like Zoom or this screen things is what makes a big difference with a concert performance is that you can see yourself performing.
Mm.
And when you play on a concert, you never see yourself doing the job, and it's somehow it's um, yeah, at the beginning it's not so easy because also when you speak like now, I can see my own face and mix with yours and taking part of it, and so you have also you became conscient of your image,
Mm.
and maybe to see it with some, it creates also some distance from it. In the same time you see it, it creates some distance, and so also you can see the result of yourself mixed with the image from the others, and maybe that helps also to feel more free. That because when you don't see you, you have have some imagination, or you have an idea
Mm.
about what you are presenting. That can be sometimes more difficult to accept, or you can be a little more shy about it. But somehow to see the result of yourself, sometimes okay, that's it. It's what I am, and it's okay. I can deal with it, or that's it. And it's not.
Look,
It's not. It's maybe not as terrible as I could think about it.
there's like a
That might
comfort in having that immediate, oh, that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
You don't have to guess.
But also some surprise there, right? I mean, that's speaking to one of your previous questions about the things that surprised me. Um, the visual aspect became a site for play in a way that I didn't recognize that it would. Right? We had very specific ideas about how that would happen, but actually people were improvising with the visual
Mm.
presentation almost as much as they were with the sound part of the piece. And that was maybe something I didn't expect. Maybe freeing musicians who aren't necessarily used to the visual aspect of their performance practice, freeing them up to play visually was a something new to lots of people, and so
Mm.
that kind of, there was some excitement and some energy around that really kind of comes across, I think, to me. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, if there aren't any questions from the audience, I'll give my colleague a second to signal if that is true or not. Then I think we should get into playing the piece. Maybe just before we do both of you want to share maybe one last thought before we press play and show the world?
Yeah, I just hope it's as fun and as joyful to see it as it was to perform this piece. And really thank you to Joe and Germain for this proposition. It was really fun to do that, and I'm really happy with that with the result now. So hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, for me too, Frederick. This was so much fun, and I have a similar thought. I hope it's as fun for people witnessing it as it was to participate in. I just want to thank publicly my partner in this, Jermaine, who I'm sad she wasn't here today, but what a wonderful thing to make with your friend, to get an opportunity to make something like this with your friend, especially at a time where there was so much disconnect in the world. And yeah, thank you for participating, and I look forward to future work with OnSim and with yourself. And yeah, and thank you, James, and the folks at Suoni for helping us share this. It's just, yeah, I just have a lot of thanks to share with the world. Thank you very, very much.
All right. Well, thank you both for sharing with me. And now, here is Quarantine Playground.
Der wurde sehr schlecht behandelt von seinem Herrn, den nämlich loswerden, beziehungsweise wollte er ihn schon schlachten. Ist ihm schon so ein altes Tier war. Und eines Tages beschloss der Esel, also bei seine Sachen, er war nämlich ein Musikant, also nahm er auch seine Gitarre mit und einfach Gitarre spielen davon raste, sein Mittagsschläfchen machte. Und so geht er spielend auch mit seiner Gitarre, tralali, tralala. Einmal trifft er auf einen alten Hund. Auch der alte Hund sagt ihm, hey Esel, was machst du da mit deiner Gitarre? Der Esel sagt ihm,
Encouragés par Mehdi, Léa et Yoko s'approchent à leur
schönes Leben, denn ich möchte einen schönen Lebensabend haben. Und da sagt ihm der Hund,
samouraï
weißt du
virevolter
was?
les
Ich
fourches.
folge dir.
Je
Hier
savais
bei
pas
meinem Herrn werde ich nur schlecht behandelt.
Brésil avec un bâton.
Sagt ihm der Esel, komm.
Ne savais pas essayer.
Kommt der Hund auch mit ihm nach und der Hund war auch ein Musikant wie ihm.
Un samouraï à la statue imposante s'approche. Oh là là, n'a pas l'air de bonne humeur, ce
Trommelt
jamais
weiter,
dire.
trugen sie weiter
Mais
durch die
non,
Stadt.
c'est son masque qui donne cette
Auf einmal kommt
Peut-être
aus einem
c'est pas
kleinen
très intelligent ce
Zaun
masque.
hervor eine kleine Katze.
Qui ose nous
Macht ihr
déranger
zwei
pendant
da,
notre
zwei
entraînement.
Musikspielende.
Vous avez bien dit qu'il avait l'air fâché, murmure Mehdi.
Von unseren Herren schlecht behandelt
Nous, grand
werden.
samouraï. Moi, j'attends. Pardonne, tu as fait preuve de bravoure, n'osant me parler.
Musikant,
Mais je ne
Geigespieler,
pas de temps.
nimmt ihre Geige mit und folgt ihren zwei Freunden. Alter Hahn, der vorbei.
Avant qu'il n'atteigne le village.
Alter Hahn. Sonst noch tut er ja Trompete spielen.
La projection du feu, c'est très dangereux. Les rendait-il prévenir les villageois. À tout le monde allait chercher de l'eau à la rivière. Les samouraïs s'éloignent au grand calot vers la forêt.
Ziehen die vier weiter herum. Schließlich ziehen sie so lange herum, bis sie in den Wald kommen. Sehen sie ein
Je vais
wunderschönes
aller
Haus.
chercher de l'eau à la rivière, enchaîne vous nous protégez, ils le font toujours. Nous ne pourrons pas arrêter ces flammes. Ils ont demi-tour. Nous trouvons un moyen de protéger le village, déclare le chef des
Nehme das Haus ein.
Je vois que nos petits amis ont rempli leur mission. Nous y arriverons pas comme ça, réfléchit. Faut éloigner
Ihre
le village et le
Männer
feu.
raus und beginnen ganz laut zu spielen. Es machen nicht alle. Natürlich die Räuber Angst bekamen. So die Räuber vor lauter Angst
Nous allons relier la rivière. Enfin, ils descendent de leur château et se mettent à creuser. Ils peuvent s'activer. Il n'y a pas une minute à perdre.
und schön und friedlich zusammenlebend in
Grâce aux efforts de tous, le canal est bientôt creusé. Léa, Yoko et Mehdi joignent leurs forces pour donner les derniers coups de pelle. L'eau remplit le fossé et éteint le feu. Ce n'est plus que fumée.
And I will hold it.
Vous avez été admirable. Nous n'amuserons des samouraïs. Nous avons tous eu très chaud, ajouta notre samouraï. Nous voir en jouer. Vous avez fait preuve de courage et d'ingéniosité. Comment vous remercier de nous avoir aidés, demande le chef des samouraïs. En répondant à la question que nous voulions vous poser, Oscar, et quelle est cette question, fillette au chevet de feu? Il existe des femmes samouraïs?
Il le cherche pas.
Voilà enfin au bord de la falaise, nous y sommes.
À l'angle d'une rue.
Peut-être que c'est plus prudent de rester là, suggère Petit Crabe. Ouais.
C'est bon. Énorme. Gâteau. Come on.
You've got a bad talk. Yes.
Wow.